Yo, this is Boštjan from BossLifehacks.com, and I'm here in beautiful Bucharest, Romania. It's super warm weather, loving it, and today I'll talk about a slightly grimmer topic, and it's about therapy. Should you or should you not see your therapist? What can you expect? And my thoughts about this topic. Alright, so just to start off so we can relate a little bit, I'll give a personal example. I was in Finland and in some other countries previously, and I was really stressed, right? I had too much shit to do, past projects catching me up. I was not even able to finish the ones I had right there. So I was like, and I couldn't even enjoy, I was in like really cool cities. I had a lot of like opportunities to enjoy, but I was just like in my fucking room, like video editing and doing some shit, right? So that's not a nice way to live life, right? So, luckily I was involved in therapy. I was working with aggressive kids before. So I know that, we can very quickly, fall into like these like weird thoughts and, like allow certain parts of ourselves to take over and stuff. So, I rang my therapist and, in 1 hour, there was so much weight relieved, and I could, I had more energy. It was really, really good, right? Because sometimes you don't just need a lot of sleep or better nutrition, right? Sometimes you need something else. So I would like to talk about this because it's super important. Because, for example, if you get sick, if you have flu or if you cut your leg or whatever, you go to the doctors, right? It's completely normal to go to the doctors. In fact, if you don't go, people think like you're weird, like dude, go to the fucking doctor, right? So what bothers me is that you don't have this same thing if you have like some disturbing thoughts, or whatever, or you're like not sure what to do in your relationship, or you have like some stuff with your parents, right? And it really pisses me off because you're just supposed to know, of course. Well, fuck that, right? So you have, the good thing about it is you have these specialized people who have seen like thousands of other people with same issues that you have. Like we're not so special, we have the same sort of thing, we all need some sort of belonging, we all need some sort of passions, like we need the same sort of stuff, right? So if you have some people who are specialized in seeing the little loopholes that you go to, the little things that are not really helpful, it's much easier for them to kind of help you out, right? Okay, another example that I might give you in comparison of the like regular doctor for your body and a therapist for your mind and soul, or however you want to put it, is a friend of mine just got injured recently, right? And we went to the doctors, and they give him a tetanus or tetanus, I don't know how you pronounce it, but they gave him a shot, right? Because that thing can cause a serious infection and it can like seriously injure you. You might even die, I don't know, right? So it's the same thing with your like thoughts and like relationship. There can be like small things that can bug you for a long time, and if you don't know how to handle those, like it can be pretty fucked, right? So why not see some help? Obviously the main stigma is the society, right? It's a taboo topic, people think that like you're weird if you go see a therapist or whatever. Like just like drop that. It's completely like 2 centuries old. So I really, that's why I'm making a video on this topic as well, because those are the things that you don't like, nobody tells you, like nobody like tells you, oh, maybe you should rethink your position in this relationship. Oh, what would happen if you would not do that? How did you feel? Well, like all these questions, like you rarely see, or you rarely hear them, right? So it's really good to get some advice on that one. And another super important distinction here is, as you know, there's a lot of modern day diseases, right? Obesity, all the cancers, all the, like modern, like medical problems. The same thing happens in our like mental sphere, right? There's a lot of pressures that people didn't know before, okay? There's a lot of like, if you just go to long-term relationships, to people being everywhere, to how social media affect us, all the dopamine hits we get from Facebook and or not. There's a lot of things people didn't have to, face like 100 years ago, right? So there's like different things that, you know, emerge from all those things as well, right? So I don't know, all this like perfectionism, all this like, you know, trying to like the myth of hustling, you know. I have my own thoughts about it, like it's good to work really hard, but where is the line, right? So there's a lot of these like modern day things that people didn't have to, you know, kind of work with before, and, you know, might be really good for you to at least ponder, reflect upon. And, you know, then if you need some help, like ask for it, because, you know, even if you're the type of person who really wants to succeed or be a perfectionist or whatever, like, you know, having some help with resolving your problems will actually help you be more productive, because you'll have more energy, more, you know, passion, inspiration, whatever you want to call it, right? So in case, you know, you might want to consider that, in case, you know, you're not like too badly concerned with all the stigma, etc., what are the key things that you want to consider once you do, you know, allow yourself to try it off? You know, you don't need to say, oh, I'm gonna do this forever. No, just like, you know, go for one session and then see if it helps. If it doesn't, fuck it, you know, it's not for you. So the key thing I would say is there needs to be a really sort of connection between you and the therapist, right? There needs to be strong trust, like you need to feel good around that person, otherwise it's not gonna work, right? So in this case, I would say trust your gut feeling. It might be a little bit tricky, but if you feel generally good around that person, and again, after the first session, you should know, right? Another thing you might want to know is, you know, it doesn't, like people say, yeah, but it's so expensive, you know. Yes and no. One thing is you don't need to do it every day or even every week, you know, maybe even every 14 days can work for you. And yes, it's a little bit more, but then again, how valuable is, you know, like your relaxedness, or feeling of being relaxed, or your mental, you know, like, you know, health, or how you are at peace with yourself, right? So don't put that on the first place. The second thing was something that I forgot. The second thing is, in my personal opinion, the goal of therapy shouldn't be to stay there for years and years, right? You have some approaches, you know, the Freudian, Jungian, that will like deconstruct your whole childhood and all that stuff. It might be helpful for some people, but personally, I think that's a little, you know, like, you know, whatever happened. So just focus on like problem solving and what you can do with the resources and you know, people, relationships, whatever that you have at this moment, right? So focus on that. You know, maybe even 2-3 sessions will help you and you're good, you know. Maybe you have a, I don't know, a decision about like a job or a partner or whatever, you know, those really like tough decisions. Even just for that, it can help, and like you are so much relieved, right? So once again, this was Boštjan from BossLifehacks.com here from Bucharest, Romania. Let me know how you like this video. Did you ever consider going to therapy? Did you maybe even go? What was your expectations? How did you feel there? Did you get any results? How was it for you? Drop some comments, drop some questions, and yeah, let me know. And in case therapy doesn't help, you can always drink, smoke, and get high. Cheers.